And welcome to In the Blender with Brandon and Madeline Hyman. Tonight we're going to be talking about Mad in the Blended Family.
Mad in the Blended Family. I like that. I think it's going to be a surprise, sweetheart. I think it's going to be a little different than what people think when we talk about Mad. But I tell you, we are just so excited to be with you guys, to be sharing. I'm telling you, this has just been so awesome. We shared with you guys on last week about our book. And let me see the book, sweetheart. Mm-hmm. So we've been talking to you guys about the ABCs of the blended family. So listen, you guys want to email us, you want to messenger us so that you can get your copy of this. We'll give you the details a little later, but I'm telling you guys, it is a phenomenal short read. There are some building blocks. We're in the year building.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to start this first book out with building blocks to build a successful blended family. And so we take you from A to Z, just some nuggets, some blocks, some pieces that you can put together to build that foundation and that structure so that you can build upon it and your family will be the better because of what you've learned and what you've received from this book. And so we're just excited. I'm telling you guys, it's just been a joy. You know, it's been a long time coming. I'm talking about 20 plus years in the making. And so we've just super excited about all that's going to be accomplished and revealed. And so listen, we're going to jump right into this. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Mad in the Blended Family. Mad in the Blended Family. And so this is just, oh man, this is just going to be on point. And so tonight, we're going to start off with a couple of statistics because that's going to segue us right into this episode on tonight. And so the first statistic is 16% of children live in blended families. 16% of children live in blended families. And so, as you guys know, 16% is a large amount. And it's constantly growing, guys. This is something that's constantly growing. And these statistics were just taken not too long ago. And so, as you can see, before we shared, it was like 10%. Now they're talking about 16%. The next time we get that statistic, it may be 20 to 25%. Who knows? And so it's just to show you guys where we are as it relates to blended families and where this thing is going and why there's such a need to have discussions around the blended family. And so what's the next stats we are? Or you want me to keep on?
I'll read it. Children of Hispanic, Black, and white backgrounds.
No, we missed one. The number.
Oh, I'm sorry. The number of kids living in blended family has been stable for nearly 30 years.
And so I thought that stat was a little amazing to me because it says that the number of kids living in blended families has been stable for nearly 30 years. So if that being the case, then I'm just assuming that there's some things that we haven't been able to there's some numbers and statistics that we haven't properly gathered over the years. But it's also amazing to the fact that this dynamic has been so prevalent and so huge over the last 30 years that it's stabled out. And so I just thought for me that was huge. And then the third statistic says children of Hispanic, Black, and white backgrounds are equally likely to live in this type of family. And so, especially in this country, in this Western civilization, it doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, it doesn't matter if you're white, it doesn't matter if you're Black. Children of those people groups are equally likely to live in this type of family. And I just thought that was just huge. But then watch this. Listen to this last stat. It says children from Asian families are half as likely as Hispanics, whites, and Black kids to be a part of a blended family. And so I was real curious about that. And so I began to dig a little bit deeper into that. What is it about the Asian culture that they don't participate as much in the blended family as the Hispanic, as the Black, or as the white culture? What is it that separates the Asian culture from that? And so there was a couple of things that I was able to find that kind of define how they view family and what they were doing to consistently stay in a position to keep the two married parent family system going.
Mm-hmm.
And so it says, in the Asian culture, two-parent families are common. And so just starting right there, in the Asian culture, two-parent families are common. And so that's huge, because in the Hispanic culture, that's not the case. In the Black culture, that's not the case. Even in the white culture, that's not the case. Unfortunately, in our Western civilization, we're becoming so selfish and so single-minded that we don't value family like a lot of the Eastern cultures do.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically, we're talking about the Asian culture. And so I just thought that was interesting when you looked at that. Then it says, children are most often raised by two married parents, often assisted by extended family members. Let me read that again. Asian children are most often raised by two married parents, often assisted by extended family members. And I've seen that for myself. A lot of times in the Asian culture, you may have a grandmother or grandparents even living in the home, because they begin to change roles. They begin to switch things up. So they always have a community surrounding their children. And so I just thought that was just so intriguing, the fact that they see that as important, and the fact that other cultures don't see that as important as they do.
Right.
Because for them, it's just second nature. Mama raised you. She gets to a certain point in life where now they're grandchildren, and now she comes back into the home to assist. Whereas with us, unfortunately, everybody has their own house, everybody's doing their own thing, and there's no real community in the household.
Right.
And so Asian children are most often raised by two married parents, often assisted by extended family members. For the most part, their family structure is quite different. Asian family members express modest levels of family satisfaction, low levels of disagreement about household tasks. Now watch this. For the most part, their family structure is quite different.
Mm-hmm.
It's just different. I mean, we've heard some things that's just different. It's quite different. Asian family members, they express modest levels of family satisfaction. I mean, they're big on family satisfaction. They're huge on family satisfaction. They're always talking about how they can improve their family structure, how they can build their children, how they can take it to another level with their children. That's what they do. And so when you look at that, you see the separation in how they view things. But then it says low levels of disagreement about household tasks. High incidence of regular eating meals together, but low levels of political and social discussions. And so they don't really they don't really have a bunch of disagreements on household tasks. They understand this is our house, this is what we got to do, we're going to take care of it.
Right.
But also along with that, you see that there's a high incidence of regular eating meals together. And I thought that was big as it relates to the growth and the maturity of the family, of the children, because they're always looking, or they're always making concessions for time of eating together.
Right.
You know, unfortunately, a lot of us, our work schedules are off. You know, one person may work this shift, another parent may work that shift. Getting home together may not be always possible. And so even something simple as having meals together is a task for a lot of us. Whereas with them, it's a part of their culture. And unfortunately, it used to be a part of our culture, but in our civilization, we've shifted and we've moved away from things that assisted us in being that unit that we used to be. And so I just, you know, again, I'm fascinated, intrigued by how they view the family and why is it that they don't participate as much in the blended family as other cultures do. And so these are some things, and we're sharing these things because we want you guys to take some of these tidbits and now put them back in your family. If you're not having meals together, hey, why don't we figure out how we can have meals together? I don't care if it's just for one. What's that? One. I don't care if it's just for one day. You know what I'm saying? Start with one day. Make it Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Let Sunday be the start. Right. And then add a Monday or a Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday or Saturday. But start with one day. Start building that tradition up. Start with that piece of the puzzle and then build from that point. And so I just wanted to bring that out. But we're talking about MAD in the blended family. And I got that MAD, those acronyms, from memories, acceptance, as well as determination. And so these are three of the building blocks that we have in our book.
We don't go too much in details because we want them to get the book and
correct.
read it.
Correct. We're not, but we just wanted to share just a little bit with you guys, kind of wet your whistle, you know what I'm saying, as it relates to the book and how it can enhance and bless your life and your blended family. And so tonight we're going to be talking about memories. So, sweetheart, read that for us.
Memories. Too many times in the blended family, people have memories of what was, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent. Meaning you will find yourself focusing on how things were in your past relationships. Thinking back on what was can cause you problems in your now. When you find yourself remembering back to what was, make sure to use those memories as a lesson to assist you in what not to do or what to do different this time.
Read that one more time, sweetheart.
Sure. Too many times in the blended family, people have memories of what was, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent. Meaning you will find yourself focusing on how things were in your past relationships. Thinking back on what was can cause you problems in your now. When you find yourself remembering back to what was, make sure to use those memories as a lesson to assist you in what not to do or what to do different this time. So it's nothing wrong with memories as long as you're using them to either make a change, make adjustments, remembering the good times, or remembering what to do or not to do this time. Also, when you think back, if you think back on the negativity and you don't change or make adjustments, it can cause issues where you are now and in your blended family now.
Exactly, because too many times, you know, in this blended family dynamic, people thinking about what was, you know what I'm saying? And we talked about that one time before about how sometimes you're comparing things, you know what I'm saying? How things was in this relationship, how things was in that relationship, you know what I'm saying? How we communicated, how I communicated with this person, but not understanding that if you don't erase that or cast that down, you're going to cause a problem to arise in your current situation, in your current family dynamic. Because again, guess what? He's not the person, he's not your ex-husband. He's not your ex-boyfriend. She's not your ex-wife. She's not your ex-girlfriend. He's not your baby daddy. She's not your baby mama. And so understanding that and how you related to them, you got to understand that you can't look at I can't look at my wife like I looked at my son's mother, because my wife isn't my son's mother. She's not his biological mother. And so I can't relate to her the same way I related to her. I have to relate to her according to knowledge concerning her. Even scriptures tell us, husbands, dwell with your wife according to knowledge. I have to get an understanding. I have to know my wife and how to relate to her. Mm-hmm. And when I begin to know her and when I begin to relate to her according to that knowledge, guess what? Now I can build. Unfortunately, what we're finding out is because people aren't mature enough to move past those things and you're still looking back. Listen, guys, the reason why we got two eyes in the front of us is because it's designed for us to look forward. Stop looking back. There are no eyes on the back of your head. But too many times, it is simple. I like simple things because simple things speak volumes. We're looking at things from a past perspective instead of looking at it from a now and future perspective. When you look at this thing from a now and future perspective, man, it brings insight, it brings clarity, it brings joy, because there's a sense of uncharted territory that lies ahead of you. What did Jennifer say?
She got to get to.
Okay. There's a sense of uncharted territory that lies ahead of you that is so exciting. You can't wait to get there. But if you're looking back at this tumultuous terrain, if you're looking back at this mountainous journey that you just overcame, you'll never be able to see the pleasures that lie before you. Mm-hmm. And so too many times in the blended family, like we said, people are looking back. Meaning you find yourself focusing on things in your past, thinking back on what was, you know what I'm saying, not understanding that this can cause problems in you now. Right. Who wants problems in their now? When you can have joy in your now. You can have peace in your now. You can have love in your now. Why do you want to look back and focus on something that was heartbreaking? Focus on something that was demeaning, something that tore you down, when you got something here that builds you up, when you got something here that pushes you, that promotes you. There's some things that we've accomplished and that we've experienced because we refuse to look back. We refuse to go back. Why? When we got this great thing ahead of us called the blended family. We got this great thing ahead of us called a new relationship. And man, we came into this thing going straight forward, full steam ahead. And I tell you, it's been a joy. And so when you find yourself remembering back to what was, make sure to listen, if you find yourself remembering back to what was, do these two things. Make sure to use those memories as lessons to assist you in what not to do or what to do different this time. Absolutely. That's what you use those things for. There are some things that if I look back, man, I know don't do that one. No, sir, you don't want to do that one. You don't want to do that one at all. Why? Because if I do the same thing, I'm going to get the same results. That's insanity. The definition of insanity is doing the same things, expecting something different. And so I can't expect anything different doing the same thing. And so if you find yourself looking back, if you find yourself reminiscing on what used to be, just use those lessons to do these two things. Use them, first of all, as a lessons on what not to do. And then secondly, on what to do differently. there's some actions that we all have that come from our past relationships that if you just tweak them just a little bit, it's different now. Mm-hmm. And now, because you tweaked it just a little bit, if not all the way, you're going to get a different result. Why? Because you're doing something different. You're not doing the same thing, and so you can't expect the same result. You're doing something different, so now you have an expectation that's different than before. And so that's something that you want to do. Mm-hmm. And then the second one, I love this one right here, sweetheart.
So we had M, M. And now we on A.
Now we're on A. Mm-hmm. And what's A, sweetheart?
Accept. Mm-hmm. One of the first things that needs to be done is to accept that you are a new blended family.
Stop right there. One of the first things that need to be, or that one needs to do is what?
Accept that they are a new blended family.
Listen, you got to accept this. You got to take this on. You got to wear this. One of the things that I did to wear this new blended family was as soon as even before I said I do or I will or whatever I said, I got to go back to the videotape because I don't remember say I do or will, one of those two. But even before that time, I accepted my wife's daughters as mine. Mm-hmm. So I put on the garment of fatherhood. And that garment of fatherhood to children that I didn't biologically produce now put me in a position to walk in a new blended family. Mm-hmm. Because again, you guys hear me say this all the time. I'm not a subscriber to steps. I'm the only steps in my house, in my home, in my family are the ones that lead to the front door, that go upstairs or go downstairs. Those are the only steps. You hear me say this all the time. I never address it. I just want all of those who can't stop saying this word, do this for me. For the next 30 days, call your spouse my stepwife.
Telling people to do that.
No, really. Because they're going to see how dumb that sounds. Because see, a lot of things we do because we've been conditioned to do it. A lot of things we say because we've been conditioned to say without really taking any thought as to why we say this. Why do I say stepchildren, but I don't say stepwife? Why do I say stepchildren, but I don't say step-husband? How do you now give a separate title to the offspring of the person that you now joined yourself together? How do you do that? I'm curious. Help me out. So for the next 30 days, all of you stepdads, all of you stepmoms, when you're talking to your stepchildren, just stepwife. Can you imagine the frying pan that's going to come flying at your head when you walk in that door and say, hey, stepwife? Your wife is going to look at you like you lost your rabbit mind. Or you come in the house and say, hey, step-husband. You might see some steps. You don't want to do that. But when you think about how that sounds, how crazy that sounds, and we do it all the time.
Well, maybe we need to look it up and see what did that word step derive from.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No, I like that. We're gonna talk about that because that's something that we're gonna have to address.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We really
in detail.
In detail, and I want to address that in detail because it's our heart's desire. That's our mission. That's our goal. Our purpose is that you be one. Mm-hmm. That this blended family mirrors the traditional family. Right. That there be no clue as to you being a blended family. Mm-hmm. There's nothing more refreshing. There's nothing more satisfying when you as the blended parent, the bonus parent, whatever you want to call yourself, when you as that non-biological parent can be looked at as if you are the biological parent. That feeling within itself. I remember one time I went to go see my daughter at work. Well, actually, I didn't go to see her. I had to use the bathroom. And I was
I just say what you was
I
saying.
was near. No, I was near, because I got to tell her like that. I was near her place of employment at that particular time, and I called and said, "Hey, babe, can I come? I need to use the restroom." And so she invited me to her place of employment, and the security guard at the front desk was sitting there looking like, "Who is this guy?" And so when she said, "This is my dad," the look on his face was priceless. He was like, "What?" You know what I'm saying? First of all, brother, you know, got this youngness on him. And so he looking like, y'all gonna be siblings. You know, and so then he was like, "Well, okay." Now he looking at me and he looking at her and he looking at me and he looking at her and he like, "Yeah, okay, I see that." And we both laughing at each other like, "Okay, good. You see that." Because that's
what you want.
That's what we want. That's the picture we want to give. And so it's important, guys, when you're doing that you make sure you project that. And I love that, because when you put that on, you know, and I just saw something pop up on the screen, and I'm gonna make a quick left real quick. You will now perpetuate that, and you'll pass that on to the next generation, where now, because you made the adjustments coming from the blended family, now you have the tools necessary for the next generation, where they don't have to participate in that same thing. Mm. You know, some great friends of ours, the mayor and the first lady, I'm not going to call their name. I'm going to just say the mayor and the first lady, they know who they are. You know what I'm saying? But I love them so dearly, because they are a product of a blended family. And so, you know, and so because of that, they've now put all the pieces in place so that now their children don't have to participate in that dynamic. They don't have to participate in going through some of the things that they may have gone through. And now they can go traditionally and show what this thing was really intended to be from the foundations of the earth.
Absolutely.
And so that's why we're here, because even though you're in the blended family, that does not mean that you can't show God's original intent in the earth.
Absolutely.
That doesn't mean that. You now just have another opportunity to get this right. You now have another opportunity. And it's so awesome, because that's what Jesus did for us on the cross. He gave mankind another opportunity. Now we're a blended family, because he came to his own and his own received him not. Yep. Then he stretched out and received us and took us and engrafted us into his family. And now we're blended. And now we can come before the Father as if we were part of that traditional family, and nobody knows the difference. We got the same rights. We got the same privileges. We got the same abilities, the same access. The access. Yeah. We have the same access that the traditional family had from the foundation of the earth. And I just love it. And so we're talking about accept. And read that again, sweetheart.
One of the first things that one needs to do is accept that they are a new blended family. You must understand that it's okay to blend as one family.
It's okay.
In fact, because that's what you want it to be, one family. Too many people feel like a failure because their first marriage or relationship did not work out.
Stop right there. Stop feeling like a failure. Listen, you're not a failure because that relationship didn't work out. You're not a failure. You're not a failure, just like you're not a failure because that business didn't go the way you wanted to go. Just like you're not a failure because that educational venture didn't go the way you wanted to go, or whatever it was that you were trying to do the first time didn't quite go the way you intended on it to go the first time. That doesn't make you a failure. What makes you a failure is your inability to get up and try it again.
Yep.
That's what makes you a failure, not because it didn't work out, not because you had to move on, but because you stopped moving. That's what makes the failure. How do you take a man who was married for 2.5, 3 years and now shift that man into a man who's now been married over 21 years? That tells me that I didn't fail. That tells me I didn't fail. That just meant I got myself up, I dusted myself off, and I went forward and I obtained what it was I sought after.
Absolutely.
I sought after a family. I sought after a marriage. I sought after a unity that can help propel me and take me into the places that I was destined to be at. And so because I didn't stop, because I didn't throw in the towel, because I didn't give up, now here we are talking to you guys, sharing building blocks with you guys on the blended family. And so I'm telling you, don't feel like you're a failure because your first marriage or relationship did not work. It's okay. Yep. Brush yourself off. Shake the dust off yourself. Get up. Get back in the game. Get back. The truth of the matter is some of us made decisions and choices that we just shouldn't have made anyway. And because you made that decision and because you made that choice that you just should not have made, there was a consequence that came behind it. Yep. I knew going into my first marriage, I shouldn't have did it. But my pride and my pride caused me to make a decision that consequently caused me some heartache and some headache later on. But watch this, me coming to grips with the fact that I was disobedient, me coming to the grip with the fact that I just made a bad decision, that didn't make me a bad person, that didn't make me a failure, that didn't make me anything less than a child of the Most High. Then I came to that grip, man, listen, I was like, okay, whatever. It's time to move on. I can't stay here. I can't stay in this mess. I can't stay in this rut. I can't penalize now my new family because of my past mistakes or my past decision. So stop feeling like you're a failure.
And don't penalize yourself. Because you say you can't penalize the family, you can't penalize yourself either. Sometimes you know how it's like people sometimes even say, I got to forgive myself or I can't forgive myself. It's not for you. You can't forgive yourself anyway. You have to ask God for forgiveness.
Hold on. So you can't what?
You can't forgive yourself.
Did y'all hear what she just said? She said you can't forgive yourself.
You can let things go, but you can't forgive yourself. Forgiving, you have to be asked to be forgiven. What you gonna do? I guess if you look in the mirror and say, hey, you forgive me? You talk back to yourself, yeah, I forgive you.
No, I love it though. I love that. Because I know somebody wants to say something on that one. No, because that's a philosophy that's built on falsehood. Forgiving yourself. Let's really keep this for real.
Well, let's not go to that. We'll go pick that up on another time. We're gonna skip past that because that's part of something else. So, but anyway,
no.
Don't penalize yourself. Let's finish this. So look at this. Look at it like this. You are given another chance at winning.
No, you're given another chance at winning. No, but I have to go back on that just a little bit, sweetheart. I got to go back on that just a little bit.
No, because you're going into.
Yeah, I got to go back on that a little bit. You have to just move on. That's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, you have to just move on.
Let it go.
You know what I'm saying? You have to just move on. You made a mistake. You don't ask yourself for forgiveness for every little thing that you do. You know what I'm saying? You just move on.
No, I ain't said.
No. I'm just saying.
Ask for forgiveness. I'm saying like forgiving yourself.
Yes. Yeah. Because you just move on. And I really, but I'm gonna be obedient to what she just told me to do. But I really want to talk about that because this is going to set some folks free when we talk about this forgiving yourself thing. Because unfortunately, there have been a lot of sayings that have come out that people have embraced that have no foundation to them. Absolutely none. And I'm saying that because I'm tired, sick and tired, as it relates to those statements of people saying things and it has no truth to them.
Well, maybe they don't know any better.
I know, but that's why.
That's why you put it out there, because we know that if you know better, you would do better. So
that's the expectation. The expectation is if you know better, you'll do better. Unfortunately, sometimes people know better. Hey, Chief, what's going on? Sometimes people know better and still don't do better. And so it's our responsibility to put truth out. It's our responsibility to give clarity and understanding to statements so that you can know that this statement isn't true. That this statement is like my truth. Well, the last I checked, there is only the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. There is no my truth, because my truth is really my opinion. That's what my truth means. Okay. And so that's important. That's important. You know what I'm saying? And so I just wanted to touch that because okay, go ahead, sweetheart.
All right, we'll put all that in one whole. So determined. When you enter into or about to enter.
Hold on, stop right there. No, I got to come back to this because again, we're talking about these are some nuggets, some building blocks from the ABCs of the blended family.
And you can pre-order. Send us an email at weareablendedfamily@gmail.com. The books are $15 and we're doing pre-orders, but you have to email us at weareablendedfamily@gmail.com.
Yes, guys, you want to get your hands on this again. We just talked about, or we're just tonight just talking about 3 of the building blocks from this book. And I'm telling you guys, it is an awesome short read. It's not a long read so those of you that don't like to read real long books.
Yeah,
this will be ideal for you because it's chock full of nuggets. It's chock full of blocks that you can use to frame that thing up, to frame that family up, to build for that next generation. And so again, we want to encourage you guys. How do they reach us again for this book, sweetheart?
weareablendedfamily@gmail.com. $15. We're taking pre-orders. And once you email me, I'll put your name on the list for the pre-order and I will respond back as to how you can pay. And we'll post it as well.
Exactly. And so listen, guys, you want to get your hands on it. It's hot.
It's helpful.
I'm telling you, it is. These are blocks that we've been using for the last 20 plus years to assist us in this blended family dynamic. Not just us, but for the countless people that are associated and that know us, know that what we're talking about here in the blender comes straight from that book. And so, what's the last one, sweetheart?
Determined. When you enter into or about to enter into a blended family, you have to be determined to succeed no matter what.
Stop right there. When you enter into or about to enter into a blended family, you have to be determined. Listen, let me say that again. You have to be determined to succeed no matter what. I don't care what you experienced in the past. I don't care of the heartache. I don't care of the letdowns. I don't care of the disappointments. I don't care of the frustrations. I don't care of the loss. I don't care about the lack thereof. I don't care about any of those things. When you come into this blended family dynamic, or you're about to enter into this thing, you're going to have to be determined. I'm going to succeed no matter what. It didn't even matter to me what I lost before. It didn't matter to me what I went through before. What mattered to me was that I can still win. Mm-hmm. I can still succeed. I can still make it. I can still come out on top. And because that mattered to me more than all those little trivial things, man, it kept me on the straight and narrow. It kept me on a path to get me to where I'm at today. It propelled me. It pushed me. It nudged me. It shot me out into a place that I couldn't even imagine life being this sweet with this woman right here. I couldn't even imagine that early on because of the things that I went through. But my determination kept showing me glimpses of this. It's nothing like, man, when you get a glimpse of something that you expecting or something that you desire. When you remember when we was kids and you knew Christmas time was coming around, and most of us were super nosy. I know I was super nosy. And you start searching the entire house trying to find some stuff. And every now and then you will get a glimpse of a gift. Man, the feeling you get from that glimpse of that gift, that thing that you've been asking your parents for all year long, and that thing in the back of the closet behind all their shoes or their clothes.
You was real nosy if you went all the way in and found stuff.
What? I was nosy just like you was when you found that money. Don't call me nosy. No, but really, when you get a glimpse of that, man, that feeling right there, I don't care if you got 20 more days before Christmas. The joy and the expectation you walking in is incomparable. The same way it is, guys, when you get a glimpse of how great this blended family dynamic can be for you and your family, when you get a glimpse of that thing, man, when you get a glimpse of how now you can pass this on to the next generation and they don't have to go through what it is that you went through.
And just seeing the end from the beginning. Once you get ready to enter the end, you already see the end. And the end is you win regardless. So that makes it easy to be determined to stand no matter what. No matter what type of trials you face, no matter what type of heartaches you face, no matter what type of distractions, obstacles, whatever come your way, you already know you win.
You already know.
You already know. So you just have to make that conscious decision and choice to say that I'm determined to make it no matter what.
That's right. Because guess what? Christmas is here. And all you got to do is unwrap that present. All you got to do is unwrap that present.
Because you know the 25th is coming.
Yes.
And at January 1st, you already know the end of the year, December 25th, going to be here. It may be a lot of different things that you face from January 1st all the way up until that time. But guess what? December 25th will come.
And there are some things, watch this. There are some things that you face up until that time. Because watch this, you still got winter.
Yeah.
You got summer
and you got fall.
And then you're right back in winter.
Yeah.
And so in this life, you're going to experience some changes. You're going to experience some things leading up to you unwrapping that present. That guess what? You have to know that everybody's experiencing those things. He says that there's nothing that you'll deal with that's not common to man. So the things that you're dealing with, the things that you're facing, is common to man. Somebody right beside you, somebody around the corner, somebody up the street, somebody down the block is dealing with the exact same thing. All you got to know is you've got a glimpse of it. And because you've got a glimpse of it, hey, guess what, baby? It's Christmas time now. And the sweet thing about Christmas time, especially when you've got a glimpse of that gift, you already know what it looks like. See, now we're in a place now, sweetheart, we're at Christmas now. Now we're just unwrapping some things. We're unwrapping some things that we've seen a season ahead of time. Mm-hmm. And now we're in that Christmas season, and we're at that point now we can unwrap some things and
give.
Say it again.
And then give it away, give it out.
Wow. I wasn't even going to say that one, but I like that.
I miss Doris.
And then watch this. And then give it away. It's just like I always say about information. I love being a vessel of information because it was never intended for me to keep. We're conduit. Just like this information we're sharing with you guys, we're conduits. This wasn't designed for us to keep this. This was designed for it to pass through us so that others can experience it, so that others can feed off of it, so that others can be nourished by this supply that's going straight through us. Mm-hmm. And so understand this, guys. When you enter into this blended family dynamic, you got to be determined to succeed no matter what. I don't care if it's challenges, trials, obstacles that may arise that will make you want to walk away or throw in the towel. You got to know I win. You got to know. Go ahead, sweetheart.
You just read it.
No, however.
However, when you have set to be victorious and have a made-up mind that you are determined to be successful no matter what, it doesn't matter what you have to face because you know that you win in every situation.
When you have set yourself to be victorious and have a made-up mind, now those are two things. You got to set yourself and you got to make up your mind. Because I found out a lot of times people have set themselves, but their mind not made up. Or you make up your mind, but you don't set yourself. These two things got to be harmonious. They got to be in concert with each other. They have to flow together in order for you to be victorious in this blended family dynamic. And so when you have set yourself to be victorious and have a made up mind that you are determined to be successful no matter what, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't care if there's a job loss. I don't care if there's an illness that comes up. I don't care if there's a sickness. I don't care if what kind of anything could come up. I don't care what it is. When you set yourself to be victorious, when you get a made up mind, there's some things that we've experienced that because we've set ourselves, because we had a made up mind, those things that when from the outside, when people looked at it and was like, oh man, it's just a matter of time now. It won't be long now. Well, guess what? That won't be long. That won't be long. It's been over 20 years. Because why? Because we set ourselves. We set ourselves and we made up our minds that we were determined to be successful in this blended family no matter what. Now, watch this. That didn't mean, or that does not mean that there aren't days where you feel frustrated. Right. That doesn't mean that there are days. There have been days, man, where I had to steal away. Y'all remember that steal away? I had to go into my own closet. I had to go into my secret closet and just cry out. There were some days, man, when I had to put on the game face in front of my wife, but inside I was broken. There were times where I just didn't know how things was going to work out in the natural. Because what I saw could have been overwhelming. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? What I was dealing with could have been overwhelming. But because I set myself, because I had a made up mind, that's why God commanded us to trust with all our heart. See, a lot of times we try to trust with our mind. God never commanded you to trust with your mind. He commanded you to trust with your heart. Absolutely. See, when you trust with your mind can change. Yep. Your mind can be all over the place, but your heart is steady. It's going to do two things. It's going to pump blood, and it's going to pump blood. That's what it's been designed to do. Pump blood. It's been designed to be. That's all it's doing is pumping blood, designed to be. And so you trust with your heart, not with your mind. So I had to set myself. I had to make up my mind That's why I didn't trust with my mind. I had to make it up.
Right.
The same way, watch this. The same way, oh, I love this right here. What do we do every day when we get up, sweetheart?
What you mean? What we do? Get up and go to the gym?
Yeah, but what do we do as relates to our room?
Huh?
Our bed.
Oh, make up the bed?
Yes.
Yeah. What? We make up the bed.
We make up the bed.
Yeah.
I'm not kind of like, where did that come from? I asked you that question because that's a practice we do every day. We make the bed up. Whichever one of us, the last person that's normally out of the bed, we make the bed up. We don't just throw the covers back and then throw the pillows up. We make the bed up. We make the bed a presentation for us to now, when we get ready to go to bed, now we pull it back. Well, the same way we make up the bed every day is the same way we make up our minds every day. Mm-hmm. We practice making up our mind this day to win. We practice making up our mind this day to be successful. The same way you do that, and we pray that you're making up your bed every day. We pray that you're a tidy person because that's going to speak volumes about you and your life. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not doing that, start doing that, because those are some of the things that you do secretly that's going to be revealed outwardly. And so I just wanted to put that out there for you. But we do that the same way we practice doing that, the same way we practice making up our minds every single day, setting ourselves, positioning ourselves to win and be successful in this blended family. That's a determination. That determination says we tuck the covers. That determination says we fluff the pillows. That determination says we pull back the sheets and we make them tight so that you can pop a quarter off like you're in the military. That's what you do. So when your mind is made up like that, and when you set yourself like that, guess what? When it's time to pop that quarter, when it's time to go through whatever it is you're going through, that thing will bounce right up off of you. And so, listen, guys. Oh my God. Wow. Yes. And so we just wanted to talk with you guys about Mad in the Blended Family. These are 3 building blocks.
Yeah. M-A-D. Memories, accept, and determined.
Yes. Say it again.
Memories, accept, and determined.
Mad.
Memories,
accept, and determined. These are some building blocks that are found in our new book, The ABCs of the Blended Family. That's all we're going to talk about that. We just wanted to give you guys just some of those pieces that's in that book. And I'm telling you guys, it's going to bless your socks off. Listen, we thank you guys for joining in with us. We got some exciting things coming up. I mean, you thought that was exciting. We got some more literature in the works that's going to just bless you as a blended family. So you want to stay tuned. You want to stay locked into that. Listen, join us Thursday night's house, y'all.
On Live 365, WJMS Radio, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Yes, you want to tune in. Listen, In the Blender with Brandon and Madeline Hyman is one of the premier broadcasts on that station. And so you guys want to tune in. We want to take that listenership to a whole nother stratosphere. There's some things in the making that's just going to advance us. You see this, we always do In the Blender right in front of this picture because this thing is worldwide. There's been viewership and listenership that's been across the globe that's been hitting us up. And so we are excited for everything that's happening as relates to this broadcast, this media outlet. And so we want to encourage you guys to join us. Just like you join us on Tuesday nights, join us on Thursday night at 8 p.m. on
WJMS Radio, Live 365.
And so listen, guys, you want to tune in. Listen, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if there's some things you
want to talk about,
that you want to talk
us
about,
to discuss.
Yes. Or if you got a blended family and you want to come on and share with us, how do they reach us? Yeah, because
any blended families, spouses, you guys want to join in on us, we can take up to, I mean, ourselves and 3 other couples at one time. So if you would like to broadcast live with us, send us an email at weareablendedfamily@gmail.com. And also, you probably can tell that, we switch the way that we look. We look from one way to the other way. That's because we're broadcasting on a couple different ways. So, but yeah, if you'd like to join us again and be part of our broadcast, email us at weareablendedfamily@gmail.com. And also, don't forget to pre-order your book, same way. We are a blended family at gmail.com. The books are $15. And email me and I'll definitely respond back. And we'll also post how you can get it. Also, you can go to our website. We haven't uploaded the book there yet, but our website, www.intheblenderministries.com. The t-shirts are on the website also.
Yes.
So make sure that you put in your order for your t-shirts as well.
And we got some other things that's going to be that we're going to start putting on there as well. Some other material that we're going to be adding to the website. And so listen, guys, we're just super excited. This thing has just been phenomenal. We've been doing this now for 2 years.
It was 2 years in February.
2 years in February. So we're going on our 3rd year within the blender with Brandon and Madeline Hyman. I'm telling you guys, the next 6 months is just going to be phenomenal. I mean, off the chain, lit, hype, whatever the new saying is, that's what it's going to be. And I'm telling you guys, you just want to be a part of this thing. Again, if you're a blended family and you want to be on In the Blender with Brandon and Madeline Hyman, shoot us an email one more time, sweetheart, at
weareablendedfamily@gmail.com.
Yes, we're just doing some exciting things because there's all levels in this blended family dynamic. We've talked to those that are newlyweds. We talked to those that have been married 10, 20, 30 years. And so we want to expose you guys to every level of this blended family because on every level, there's something that you can learn. There's something that you can hear or that you will hear that would take your family to another level, to another dimension. I'm talking about building that thing up like you've never experienced. It's almost like going to the gym. Many of you guys, and I was talking to one of the people that I work out with, and I was sharing that you don't want to just keep coming to the gym just to be coming. You want to come to the gym because you want results. Well, guess what? In the Blender with Brandon and Madeline Hyman is all about results. We're not up here every Tuesday night because we just like seeing ourselves. We're not up here every Tuesday night just because we don't have anything else that we could be doing. We're up here because this is our assignment. This is what we've been commissioned to do. This is who we are. We are the blended ones. We're excited. We love what we do. We love sharing with you guys. As you can tell, I love doing it. I love talking. I mean, I can go all night, you know what I'm saying? Especially when it relates to the family, the blended family, because I'm so in love with this. I'm so in love with the opportunity to take a family and make it my own. I'm so in love with that. And I'm telling you guys, we want you to have that experience where you love being a part of this blended family dynamic, that what's on the inside of you will show to others, that they will see just how much you love this thing, just how much you enjoy this. Because let me tell you something, the blended family is enjoyable. I have a slew of grandchildren because of this. A lot of grandchildren because of this. And I'm telling you guys, there's nothing like the feeling I get when my grandchildren are around me. How they make me feel like the man. I mean, like the man. And so this thing is just awesome. We love it. I love it. We want you guys to experience it. I'm telling you guys, your lives will never, ever, ever be the same again. Listen, we thank you for tuning in to In the Blender with Brandon and Madeline Hyman. Hey, Chief, you better watch it, man. You know I can find you. Just watch it. And so we thank you guys for tuning in. Listen, again, if you have a question, if you have a comment, something you want us to go in detail with, you can reach us at weareblendedfamily@gmail.com.
And if you want to be a part of the broadcast, email us at weareablendedfamily@gmail.com to pre-order your book. Again, weareablendedfamily@gmail.com.
The ABCs of the blended family. I'm telling you, it is so awesome. Listen, we love you guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.
And until next week, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.